Hey everyone, I'm Trevor, and today we're going to share with you the top 10 rides at Disneyland. This isn't my own personal list, which would look a little differently, but rather it's a ranking of rides by popularity to the general public. I didn't actually poll anyone, so the numbers might shuffle around depending on who you ask. Starting off our list, we have Alice in Wonderland with a consolation prize. It didn't make the top 10, but I decided to add it in as a bonus. Located on the fringe of Fantasyland across from Matterhorn Mountain, this slow-moving dark ride has been in operation since June 14, 1958, and is one of Disneyland's classic attractions. You'll board your own caterpillar and go down, down, down the rabbit hole with Alice. All your favorite characters are here, like the White Rabbit, the Cheshire Cat, and the Queen of Hearts. Given its history, Alice in Wonderland deserves to be on your list during your next visit to Disneyland. I'd recommend riding this one early, as it's often the second busiest attraction in Fantasyland with an average wait time of 30 minutes. Just across the path is Matterhorn Bobsleds, which makes it to number 10 on our list. I admit, this one isn't for everyone. It's nothing to do with the experience itself, but with the ride construction. Built in 1959, Matterhorn Bobsleds is the world's first tubular steel roller coaster, and it shows. When you go on Matterhorn Bobsleds, you are riding a piece of history. This attraction takes you on a mad dash through Matterhorn Mountain after your climbing expedition was attacked by the fearsome Yeti that protects the mountain. You'll have to dodge him on several occasions as you make your escape before splashing down into a small pond at the end. It's a fun experience, but one you'll have to weigh against the potential hip and back pain the ride has been known to produce due to its age and construction. My recommended way to ride Matterhorn is through the single rider line, but that doesn't work if anyone in your party is under the age of 7 years. The average wait time at Matterhorn Bobsleds is 45 minutes, so ride this one early or grab a lightning lane on Genie Plus. Jungle Cruise, located in Adventureland, is one of my personal favorite attractions in all of Disneyland, but it finds itself at number 9 on our list simply because there's a lot of strong contenders for the top spots here at Disneyland. It's no secret that Jungle Cruise was Walt Disney's favorite ride, and we've talked about how Walt Disney World's Animal Kingdom is the living embodiment of Walt's vision for this classic attraction. But the charm of this slow-moving boat ride is the dry humor used to make looking at animatronics interesting. One of my favorites is perhaps this one.
We've got bearded horsies, we have stripy horsies, and then all the way in the back, the really tall things, those are trees.
And then there's the best part of all.
The wonderful eighth wonder of the world, the backside of water! Woohoo!
Despite its spot on this list of top 10 best rides at Disneyland, Jungle Cruise often has very minimal and manageable wait times, averaging just 20 minutes throughout the day. This is due to its high load capacity and lack of a lightning lane. We're going back to Fantasyland just on the other side of the entrance to the castle for number 8, and it's Peter Pan's Flight. This is easily the most popular ride in Fantasyland and is a top rope drop destination when the park first opens. You'll board your own ship as you take a pixie dust enhanced flight first over London, then Neverland, ending with our heroes victorious after a fight aboard the Jolly Roger and Captain Hook standing atop Tick-Tock Croc. It's a short attraction that's not often worth a long wait in my opinion, as this ride rarely drops below 40 minutes. The best time to ride it is during parades, fireworks, or at night after most kids have gone to bed. If you're dead set on rope dropping it, I highly recommend doing so on a day where Disneyland doesn't have early entry for hotel guests, because on those days Peter Pan will have a 20-minute wait before the park even opens. That might sound great, but every minute counts during the golden hour of 8 a.m. to 9 a.m., and I'd rather knock out 4 or more rides in Fantasyland in the time it takes to ride Peter Pan. At number 7, we have Big Thunder Mountain Railroad. This popular roller coaster attraction is located in Frontierland next to Rancho del Zocalo restaurant. Big Thunder Mountain Railroad takes you through the mines and town of Rainbow Ridge with its design inspired by Utah's Bryce Canyon National Park. You'll start off in the Batcave, no, not that Batcave, before taking a plunge down this ride's first of 3 lift hills. Along the journey, you'll encounter much of Rainbow Ridge's wildlife, including its most famous resident, Billy the Goat. If you're seated in the back cart, keep your eye on Billy as you round the corner for an especially fun experience. If you're new to Disneyland, but have visited Magic Kingdom before, our third lift hill features a unique scene where you narrowly avoid a mine collapse due to dynamite explosions while you're still inside. It's not unusual for Big Thunder Mountain Railroad to hit 50-minute waits throughout the day, but in my experience, the actual wait is often quite a bit shorter than the posted time. I wouldn't rush here first, but definitely try to ride it during the golden hour for an under 15-minute wait. Disneyland's newest ride is located all the way up in Mickey's Toontown at the far end of the park. Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway opened on January 27, 2023, and is nearly identical to the version that first opened in Orlando at Disney's Hollywood Studios. The major differences in our version of the attraction is the significantly more immersive queue and a minor covered bridge scene at the end of the ride. Mickey and Minnie's used to be an individual lightning lane, but officially moved over to the standard Genie Plus service on October 11, 2023. This ride continues to be a rope drop destination and top contender for first lightning lane selection for those using Genie Plus, as it is the second quickest to disappear behind another attraction that we'll mention shortly. The name is a little misleading as you actually hop aboard Goofy's train, but are disconnected and are sent careening through a variety of cartoon landscapes with Mickey and Minnie attempting to rescue you. This attraction often breaks down due to the ride's trackless system, and because of this, it's not unusual to see the wait times at 50 minutes when it is open throughout the day. Now we're going to venture back to the front end of the park over in New Orleans Square for number 5, and that's Pirates of the Caribbean. This classic attraction was the most popular back in its day, so much so that when Disney built Magic Kingdom and didn't have Pirates of the Caribbean as one of its opening day attractions, the crowd revolted and Disney was left scrambling to add it. That's probably why their version is inferior to ours. In fact, ours is a full 7 minutes longer on average. We'll cover the differences in a future video, so if you haven't yet, now is a good time to remind you to hit the like and subscribe button for more Disneyland content. Pirates of the Caribbean starts you off with a peaceful journey through the Louisiana Bayou and views of guests dining at Disneyland's premier restaurant, Blue Bayou. You'll then drop down into the 17th century as salty old pirates ransack Caribbean seaport towns. Along the way, you'll follow Captain Jack Sparrow in his search for the treasure. Pirates of the Caribbean was recently added to the Genie Plus service while Haunted Mansion is closed. More on that in a minute. This hasn't greatly impacted the wait times, but even so, it's not unusual to see Pirates of the Caribbean hit 45-minute waits in the middle of the day, so plan accordingly. It's time to enter another new land for our 4th spot, and that's Tomorrowland, where we'll find Space Mountain. One of the world's first indoor roller coasters, Space Mountain was the first to send riders through in total darkness. It's not a fast ride at just 27 miles an hour at its peak, but the removal of sight makes it one of the most thrilling rides in the park. For the longest time, Space Mountain was my own personal favorite ride of all time at any Disney park, but some of Disney's newest attractions have finally dethroned it. Space Mountain occasionally receives overlays like Ghost Galaxy at Halloween time, though it's been several years since this one last occurred. And Hyperspace Mountain, which will be making its return for 2024 on April 5th and lasting through June 2nd for this year's Season of the Force. Space Mountain is my top recommendation for rope drop, especially if you don't have Genie Plus, as it can get 70 to 80 minute waits throughout the day, and the longest you'll wait at park opening is 15 minutes, even if you're at the back of the line. We're gonna hop right back over to New Orleans Square for Haunted Mansion, which is number 3 on our list. This experience is a tour of a haunted southern plantation. You'll first be led into the foyer and portrait chamber where your ghost host will introduce himself and challenge you with finding a way out. You'll then hop aboard a doom buggy for the rest of your tour in this Omni-Mover dark ride. You'll journey through the conservatory, Madame Leota's seance room, the grand ballroom, and finally the attic before leaving the mansion and entering the graveyard where the happy haunts materialize and grim grinning ghosts come out to socialize. Haunted Mansion is the premier dark ride at Disneyland and takes the top spot on many top 10 lists for best rides. The Haunted Mansion is home to 999 happy haunts, but there's room for 1,000 should you wish to stay at the end of your tour. Every year, Haunted Mansion receives a seasonal overlay for Halloween and Christmas called Haunted Mansion Holiday, and during this time, the attraction becomes a rope drop destination and wait times skyrocket throughout the day. As of the time of this filming, Haunted Mansion is closed for a large queue renovation with no known reopening date. It's rumored that it will remain closed through August 2024 and open in time for the Halloween season this year, but that means classic Haunted Mansion won't make its return until January 2025. A short journey away in Adventureland is Indiana Jones Adventure, Temple of the Forbidden Eye. Another easy contender for the top spot on many personal favorite lists, Indiana Jones is the best unique ride at Disneyland, meaning you won't find it at any other Disney park worldwide. Your experience begins the moment you step into the queue and continues through the long journey inside the temple itself, as the line is about a half a mile in length. However, many of the interactive queue elements haven't been functioning for many years, and I doubt Disney will ever fix them. That aside, Indiana Jones is a harrowing adventure to escape the temple from the angry deity Mara that begins to attack you the moment the ride begins. Indiana Jones is a rope drop destination for many, though its popularity as one has diminished a bit since the opening of the ride that takes the top spot on this list. Even so, it's still the lightning lane to disappear the quickest if you're using the Genie Plus service. I don't recommend booking this ride before 9 a.m. because after the initial surge, you can practically walk on Indiana Jones the entire first hour the park is open without much issue. Later in the day, however, it's not unusual for this attraction to see 60 to 70 minute waits. And finally, the number one ride at Disneyland is Star Wars Rise of the Resistance over in Star Wars Galaxy's Edge. This ride opened on January 17th, 2020, and ever since has been my own personal favorite ride at Disneyland. And even though I am a huge Star Wars fan, the love for this attraction is widespread, even amongst those who have never seen a single movie or show. The absolute level of immersion Rise of the Resistance achieves is second to none, from the long indoor queue, which is great during the hot summer and fall months, to the realistic pre-shows that have even adults forgetting they're on a ride at Disneyland and aren't actually being captured by the First Order and taken aboard a Star Destroyer for interrogation. The cast members are top-notch, the grandeur and detail of every room is jaw-dropping, and I can personally guarantee you'll walk away from this ride with a smile on your face and a memory you're not likely to forget. Rise of the Resistance is where everyone heads at rope drop, but I strongly recommend against this practice as the sheer amount of time it takes just to reach the ride will eat up the golden hour and is best spent on other rides like Big Thunder and Space Mountains. If you don't want to pay for an individual lightning lane, the best time to ride this attraction is 9 a.m. At this point in the morning, the rope drop surge has died down, but the main bulk of the crowds haven't arrived yet, so the line remains manageable. Keep in mind, the wait time is until you step on the ride vehicle, but the true experience begins at the first pre-show, which is about 20 minutes away from the actual ride due to the sheer length of the immersion and number of pre-shows. And there you have it, the top 10 rides at Disneyland in 2024. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like and subscribe button, and if you have questions about ride strategies, feel free to drop them in the comments below. I'm always happy to help. Click the video on your screen to keep watching. Thanks for watching, and we will see you again next time.